Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today guys, we'll be going over an Immortal VoD review. So this is an Immortal and a Radiant lobby, so higher ranked. A lot of you guys were asking, hey, let's get some higher ranked VoD reviews. Here you go, it's my gameplay. And there is a lot to talk about in this game. Despite being happy with how it ended, a lot I can work on. So gonna be some good stuff in here. We're also playing with XTR as well, which is awesome, fellow YouTuber. But with that being said guys, I just want to say, head on over to my stream every now and then. Twitch.tv/Dragonmar. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Do a lot of VoD reviews over there, so it's a lot of fun. If you like this type of stuff, you'll like the stream, I think. But without any further ado, let's begin. All right, guys, we are jumping into the gameplay here. So starting things off, we are on defense. As you guys know, I've been playing a lot more Omen recently. One of the reasons I've been playing Omen is because I have found that in my game and in pro games, that he just tends to have more value to the team, more than Brim. You guys know I started off with Brim. I loved Brim, but Omen has kind of stolen my heart. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that moving forward from me. Just because the one thing you just saw it right there, actually, the blind, the paranoia from Omen, really works well with my playstyle. But nonetheless, we are starting off here on defense, which is great on Ascent. You definitely want to start defense. Ends up, just in case, it helps. But we are playing a little more passive here. Get a nice little one tap on their Omen. But unfortunately, the Jet's able to get by. And that can be difficult because you don't want to play too tight. Because if you play too tight, you end up missing. And that's a little bit what happened there. But if I played too aggressive there, I might get double peeked and killed regardless. So now we're up 4-2, so looking good with players on B as well. This is kind of where you want to be right now. I'm going to rotate over here with both players spotted over by tree. So as my Killjoy heads over to site, I take a quick little peek over there. I don't see anyone. I get a really nice headshot there onto the Cypher. I jump down and I also headshot the Raze. So nice little first round for me. And this is really important for me. I find that when I don't start games off very well, it just kind of continues throughout the game. So getting on the board early really is it's important for me psychologically, as weird as that sounds. Okay, round 2 is starting. Once again, I'm going to throw a smoke over at B-Link. So we've been over this a lot, guys, but really important to smoke off B-Link for mid control. Now that smoke is like kind of a faux smoke. It's not really real. None of us are playing off of it. My Phoenix is actually playing on Cat. He is able to get a kill though, which is great. One of the things I've found is that even if you're not using your own smokes, it's still important to use them. Like even if you're not like utilizing them, it's still important to actually use them in the rounds, just because you never know if it's going to stop them from doing something. Now, unfortunately here, I actually go down to a ghost with my Bulldog. I think I took that fight a little bit too fast. And I think I could have played much more passively, but I wanted those kills, and I knew they had ghosts and pistols. But unfortunate for me that I just didn't aim in the right spot at all. That was a horrible play by me, and definitely something I need to work on is my patience on these save rounds and not like searching for these kills. Okay. Now we're looking at round 3 starting right now, and I have an Ares in my hand, and you're probably thinking, I've never seen Dragonmar use this gun before. And I'm probably thinking, neither have I. This is not a gun I'm very familiar with. And on top of that, it's not something I really want to use in this position either. So I was kind of at a disadvantage from the start here. Now, Omen makes presence known with his flash. I'm going to counter it. I go for a little spray there just to see if I can catch anyone against that wall. And then I start spraying through this since, you know, that's kind of what you do with these guns. Unfortunately, though, Jet uses multiple smokes to get that mid presence. So now they can be in market. So we have to be careful here. I'm sure I'm letting my teammates know as well that, hey, they can be market. You know, watch for that. Regardless, though, they are bunched up. I think we spotted about 3 of them so far. And they are approaching out of market. Now, in this situation, they do take down both of our B-site players, so this is a retake. This is a 3v4, and I have 1 smoke left. So I'm going to use my smoke here in market door. This is to help us enter into site and get through this doorway here. Now the problem is that a Raze is still in mid and ends up coming around and actually flanking one of our players. So this puts me in a 1v3 now after that last death. And at this point, I'm just trying to save this weapon. I can't win this round, I don't think. I don't have enough utility. If I had a flash, it might be possible, but I'm already low on time. So what am I going to do here? I'm just going to get out of dodge. I'm going to keep my Phantom for the next round and save up. All right, so round 4 is starting here, going for my smoke over towards B-Link again, playing passive mid like I've been doing, also going to smoke off our mid. Since there's a lot of aggression, I like this smoke because this hopefully will help stop them from pushing up so quickly, maybe make them think twice, but like I was saying, this is a very passive position here regardless, so they can just walk up if they want to. Now, I was able to save the Phantom, though, so at least I have some weapons here to work with. Unfortunately, though, we do lose some players, so now we're in a full rotation here over from B over to A. I'm sort of holding Garden over here, and if I remember correctly, what you're about to see is absolutely disgusting. So this is a pretty decent peak. I really don't think too much was wrong there, but I get destroyed by that Stinger. And I guess I should have just counter-strafed a little bit more, but that shot was absolutely disgusting, what he did to me. Okay, so round 6 here. Now, in round 5, I just died to an op mid. It was my first time getting aggressive, and I sort of peaked, I peaked mid there, right where I just smoked, and unfortunately, there was an opper there. So now this round, I have that information. I know, okay, they could be opping, marshalling, whatever. I'm going to hang back now, play my passive position here again. But unfortunately, I'm only able to buy up a Bulldog. Now, if you don't know, I sort of have a love-hate relationship with the Bulldog. There are times when it's extremely good, but sometimes I'm just off with it. But when I'm on, it's amazing. Regardless, though, they're going to smoke deep here. So this applies a lot of pressure to my team on B, because it means I cannot help them with market. Now, as you can see, my SOA is actually going to drone through, which does provide us with a little bit of info. I feel like I have to do something with this. I'm able to flash, but unfortunately, there's just so many players there that they just sort of peek me and kill me. I was hoping the Sova was going to maybe get 1 or 2 kills there or do a little more damage. I think he did pretty good with that ult, but for me, I think I should have done better there. There was way more opportunities. I sort of swung out. I didn't ADS, so I was already, I was just essentially just spraying. And definitely could have done better. I think that also, I probably should have just peeked that corner instead of swinging wide. I think swinging wide was actually my downfall, because it just opened me up to too much sort of room for death, if you will. All right, round 7, this time just going for that close to mid smoke. Now, once again, this smoke is to just delay their push. Since they've been getting so aggressive in mid, I want to do something to sort of slow them down. The problem, looks like they want to go to A this round. So I'm going to rotate over from Heaven. I'm able to get a Cypher there who's just kind of not looking at me, just kind of double tap him in the back there. Now, I'm playing Sight, get a nice headshot on the Jet there, who is playing over by Generator. As you can see, a lot of control with the shots. Not going for crazy sprays, just going for those taps and hitting those shots. Really important when you're retaking to be precise. The more careless you get, and sometimes the faster you try to retake, the worse your retake ends up being. In this situation, we knew it was a save. I just had to play smart there, and I think that's exactly what happened. All right, so I was able to get the last kill there for a 3K on round 7. Now, round 8 starting off, gonna go for those double smokes. Oh, actually, I just go for 1 smoke here, so just a smoke B-Link. Now, because of this, I am gonna play a little more defensively, it looks like. As you can see, crosshair placement, pretty good. That's gonna get that walk up just in case someone walks up close. Should be sufficient as well if someone goes long. Now, what's really important here, again, is remember, if you're playing passively like this, you have to play passive. There is no time to walk up, because the second you start walking up is when you get stuck. And as you see right over here to my left is like a little cubby. You don't want to get stuck there because it's really easy to get swung on, naded, and things of that nature. You have to stay back towards CT. But regardless, there is some pressure over here towards A. Now, it is currently still a 5-on-5. So it's okay if they take this site, because we can always retake. Right here, it looks like I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. We hear them planting. Now, what's really good here is Killjoy has her ult. The ult is going to get somebody as well. Now, I teleport behind. That was to apply some pressure and get the kill on the Omen. Now it's just a Jet. And thankfully, in the meantime, It looks like my Sova was able to, I believe, defuse the bomb in that situation. So ends up working out really nicely there. The teleport didn't get me any kills. It's not like I could come in, but it forced that jet out of position. So a little bit of mind games there, and we were able to get that easy dub off of that. Okay, round 9 starting off once again. Smoke over towards B-Link. So this time, we're feeling pretty good right now. We've had a good half so far. We're currently up 6-2, which is good. But we really want to stack these rounds up. Like I've said, super important to get these rounds on defense. So we're about 15 seconds in so far. Sova is going to come over. Ton spotted in mid. I'm going to go for a flash here. Now, that flash was purely defensive because I did not know where that raise could have been, or the player who was pushing up could have been. So what I wanted to do there was I wanted to flash just in case someone was up. I probably could have gotten 1 or 2 extra people had I flashed a little deeper, but in some situations you have to realize that you don't want to maximize the effectiveness of the utility. Sometimes you have to make sure you survive. Had I not flashed that raise, she might have killed me. So really important to remember that and not get too greedy with your utility. All right, round 10. We're currently 9-4, having a pretty good first half here. We've got a very pretty skin as well, which will make me a better player. Now, I go for a little peek there. Looks like my Phoenix is actually getting aggressive this round, changing things up a little with some enemies spotted in mid. Looks like he was using his ult. Unfortunately for me, though, I'm not really paying attention to if they have an op. I don't really think they've had... I think I probably should have known that they had one from the previous rounds, but unfortunately, I just peek a little too wide there, get a little bit too greedy, and ended up going down. I think in these situations, I have to kind of remind myself that I don't need to swing. We got the information from the ult from the Phoenix, so definitely in times like this, I just have to keep playing passive and remember my role and my position on the map is important and not go for these extra kills. All right, round 11 is starting here. Now, we did lose the last one, unfortunately, so it is 7-3, but still a possibility of a 9-3 half on defense, which is exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to go once again for that smoke mid. Now, as you know, I peeked last round and got off. I don't want that to happen again, so that's why I go for the smoke here. And as you can tell, right, my team is playing passive. So if, for example, my cat player wanted to get aggressive, that smoke wouldn't be very helpful to them. But because my cat player is playing passive and I'm playing a passive in mid, these smokes make sense. Remember, it's extremely important in these situations to be playing with your team. So if your team is playing a certain way, you want to be playing a certain way with them. Now, in this situation, a lot of people spotted over here in A. I think that's 3 people. Back up from the Raze ult, so no one dies to it, which is great. Unfortunately, the Killjoy is going to use her ult here on site. So I'm going to smoke off main, which is always a good idea. Just to sort of make sure that no one is going to be opping us from there. In the meantime, though, I do get the kill on the Killjoy. But 4 of us get hit by the Killjoy ult, which is never a good thing. Thankfully, I think XTR was safe, so he was protecting us. That could have ended up very bad. But 5v2 retake. And we're able to clean it up there in the end. And I'm going to get the defuse as well. So nice job there. No one died in our team either. That was just a great job of playing together and sort of taking our time. Now, that could have ended up horribly had someone been able to get through the ult to us with 4 of us being ulted. But worked out very nicely and some good teamwork there. All right, final round of defense here. Round 12, currently up 8-3. Going for our smoke close to mid again. This seems to be the one that's working the best for us so far. The beat link smokes really aren't doing anything. I think those are probably a waste. So that's something I should consider a little bit more, is if I'm playing this passive, I probably don't need to use those smokes. Now, we are holding here. We have XTR with a Cypher playing in market. How, unfortunately, we lose our Phoenix to the Jet. Killjoy is able to respond, though, with 2 kills. So I'm going to be retaking 3v3 here. I've got a little bit of utility. I have a flash and have my shrouded steps. I used 1 smoke over towards main, but unfortunately this cage here is really going to stop me from getting aggressive. But it allows me to take some time and sort of wait for my teammate. So off of that, I am going to flash, get the nice headshot on the opping Jet, bringing us into a 2v3. Get the gen. Player on generator. Unfortunately, as I swing the corner, he's able to get the headshot on me, and then we're not able to finish that round off, and we end up losing. Ending the half 8-4. But overall, I think a good half. I think we ended up getting 11 kills, 11-6. So not a 11-6. So not a bad half at all. Definitely some things we can work on. But let's jump into the second half here. All right, so starting the second off here, we're feeling, excuse me, starting the second half off here, feeling pretty good actually. 8-4, not bad, not a bad showing. Definitely some things we can work on though. So let's see what I'm able to do here on attack. Now, attack is by no means my strong suit. Matter of fact, I actually think I'm better on defense. I'm more of a defensive player naturally, and just how I like playing, and just kind of what it allows me to do and the way I can play. But nonetheless, we are attacking here. So I go for one smoke over in tree. You always want to smoke tree off just because it's such a nuisance to try to cover. Now, I also go for the smoke in heaven. That smoke doesn't stop people from walking out, but it makes it extremely tough to walk out of because it denies them so much vision. It's not like I'm fully smoking off heaven, which you guys might have remembered in the brimstone guide, where I did those double smokes. You don't really need to do that. One smoke should be enough, and with one person watching it, you should be good to go. Unfortunately, though, the Raze is kind of able to jump on top of me and actually does take me out here. Thankfully, I do believe we win this round, but I think I need to be a little more careful of where I'm playing. I probably should have spread out for my teammate there and not stayed in that spot. All right, so after winning the pistol round here on attack, we're up 9-4. Now, I'm going to opt to buy a Spectre here. Going for a smoke mid. It's for presence to make sure no one can push through. Unfortunately for me, it looks like the Omen decided that that smoke wasn't going to stop him. And this is something we saw throughout this game, is the presence in mid being extremely important. So we're already down a player now, and we have absolutely no mid control. It's currently a 4v5. And the entire team is here in B main. So we have to figure out what we're going to do to get out of this situation. Now, I'm hoping I had a smoke here. I probably could have waited a second or two and smoked off CT. But I'm actually going to be walking up into the little wood shop here, able to find 2 kills. But unfortunately for me, there's even more people. Get 3, but it's just not enough. And what happened there is we just weren't really playing together, and we weren't clearing successfully, and we kind of just had to run into sight because we had no mid presence, so we weren't really going to be able to work back that way. I probably should have called off that push and just waited for that one smoke CT and then taken it together. But yeah, 3 kills looks good, but that did absolutely nothing to help us win that round. All right, so starting off here, I'm gonna peek cat. Now, I did smoke mid. Unfortunately, though, I realized there is an Opera on cat, and now we have that in the back of our mind. Thankfully, it was just a save round. Not a big deal to die to him, but nonetheless, this is good info to use. Now it's about how are we gonna use this in the next rounds to help us. Round 16 starts off with a smoke cat. I decide I'm not dying to this Opera again, and then I also smoke mid. So these are your default smokes for mid, and what this does is it's going to allow me to work my way up cat and sort of take this mid control. Now, what you do with it can be a little more difficult because now I don't have these more smokes to work off of. I have to wait for them to recharge. But it is important to get this presence here because you don't want enemies getting out into your mid on Ascent. That can shut you down very quickly. So right here, I'm going to go for, it looks like a little bit of a peek. Just checking around, trying to see if maybe we can find someone. Teammate calling for a smoke. Not really sure what he's asking for, but I'm just going to smoke. Looks like I'm going to smoke off window there for us. Which can be a real nuisance because a lot of people will stay in that window or they will play in the tree area, and it can be tough to get them. Now, I am going for a big flank here. I decided not to go with the team. This, I think, was a mistake. In a lot of situations, when your team isn't playing passively enough, you end up just being not there to help. And this was one of those times where I just wasn't there to help. I'm walking knife out, and even with walking knife out, it wasn't really fast enough. I come out of this smoke. It's a 4v1. I'm not even able to kill anyone. I was out of position here, and this is something I need to work on. I need to realize when I can and when I cannot go for these big flanks. Had they stayed alive longer, I think this would have worked beautifully. But I should have known that there was a lot of people over on A for the enemies, and I didn't have time to do this. I thought I was going to catch someone like CT, and I just didn't. Bad play by me. All right, round, I believe, 17 here. So, I smoke off cat, because I don't want to get opt, just in case the Jet's playing over there. But at the same time, this Omen does smoke me. So what this means is, in order for me to figure out if someone's mid, I got to get through this smoke. I'm not going to do that. So it's smart that I'm just kind of sitting here waiting, playing this passively. You know, I let the team know, obviously, they can be in mid, but you never want to push through in these situations because it's very common for the enemy team to be holding over in one of those cubbies on their side of mid. Right through those doorways, you have to be careful. A lot of people will hold B-Link. So sometimes when you get smoked out like that, if you're not going out right away, don't go out at all. It's a really easy way just to throw the round. Now, the team is grouping up here, which I like. I like sort of focusing mid and going through mid. You have to be careful, though, with how you sort of present yourself here in mid, because there's quite a few spots like CT, Pizza, and Market where people can be, so you have to clear it pretty methodically. Now, in the meantime, it looks like I'm going to look for an ult, and I'm actually going to ult into the back of B, potentially. Let's see what ends up happening here for me. Looks like we're just waiting. Killjoy ults, so this will hopefully help us open up onto site. And now we're beginning to push in. Looks like I'm going to walk through the smoke here. Get shot through the wall. So, big play there by me. We'll walk through, get 2 kills, brings us into a 4v1. What I did there was incredibly important because it made it very, very difficult for the enemy team to guess where I was coming from. So, I smoked it, and then I waited. And I didn't shoot, I didn't react, I waited until I had contact with them. Now, of course, they could have been holding that and they could have shot me. But because of the situation, because of the fact I smoked and we were trying to take site with ult, they weren't expecting it. Should one of them have been watching there? Yeah, probably. But nonetheless, nice little play by me. Able to get those 2 kills there. Who knows what happens if those guys stay alive and we win the round. Round 18. Currently 10-7. Game's getting a little bit tight here, so if we're able to get a win here, if we're able to get a win here, this one will help put this game away. So we see the cat, we see the op on cat. So this gives us a little bit of knowledge here, and we got to use this to our advantage. We cannot challenge this op. Me and XTR here are in mid. We cannot challenge this op with our rifles. That you're asking to die if you do that. But what we can do is we can use our utility. So XTR is going to cam there, give us a little more knowledge, and now we know that Jet's backing away. I'm guessing I'm probably waiting for my smoke here because I want to use my smoke for something.
Okay, I'm droning.
Looks like XTR is actually going to use his cages there as a cipher to sort of be a replacement smoke. Now I'm going to go for a teleport. Trying to figure out where to go here, and this is bad. So, I don't know why I did this. And this is something that I'm still working on and trying to figure out the best uses for Omen's TP. But I ended up teleporting into window there, thinking that I can kill that Jet. Because, by the way, the Jet was preoccupied. She was not going to be able to kill me if I loaded in there. But unfortunately, another player just comes around the corner and kills me. I think I need to start using my smokes a bit more with my ultimates. If I can use my smokes with them, I can maybe mask where I'm teleporting or make it a little bit more difficult to see me. In that situation, I just kind of threw away my life, and I probably cost us the round there. All right, round 19. You guys know how it starts. With a smoke over on cat. We want to make sure they don't have an op. Regardless, though, Ray's coming through B main here. So I am going to turn here and watch B main. One thing you guys should always be paying attention to in these VoD reviews is crosshair placement, positioning, timing, utility usage. Try to watch how I do it and you know, see if there's anything I can improve upon. I'm always down. If you guys see things in these games and you're like, hey, you could have done this differently, would have helped, or this differently, I'm always down to hear it. Always looking to get better myself. So now I'm going to peek cat here. I have a smoke available. Just got my second smoke back as well. So now we have 2 smokes. We have mid control. This is when you want to start pushing up as a team. Looks like we're going to be taking over mid, pushing up here. Now, unfortunately, this isn't my smoke, by the way. This is the enemy Omen smoke. So this smoke kind of cuts us off and delays what we want to do. And this puts us at a little bit of a risky spot here where there's the potential for a flank from cat. I am going to re-smoke this, though, because we don't want anyone to be able to shoot us from CT. As you saw there, by the way, there is an opper in CT as well, so it's probably a good thing I smoked that. The problem is we're getting a little bit stuck here in market, and we're not able to get out. So I am going to Shrouded Step my way out. I kill the Rays on site, but it is a 2v4. And after I get tagged by that trip, they just blast me through the wall there. So a little bit too slow, I think. We got caught up with how many ops they had, and we didn't really have a good solution to get past it. I don't really think I did anything too wrong there, but perhaps saving one of my smokes and using it on the player or on somewhere on B could have been a little more useful there. So I could have switched up how I use the smokes, and that could have potentially helped us cut off one of those ops. All right, so round 20. It's currently 10-9. This game could become a tie game here in a second. We are all going to go for this A push. Now, I have a shorty here, so I have to get close range on these guys. That blind, I think, almost hit the Killjoy, but just not quite. And now we're stuck here. Now, with all of this utility, no one is pushing through, unfortunately. And this is one of those problems where, you know, you have your team and you guys have a plan in mind, but no one really can execute it. And part of the reason is because the enemy team was kind of onto us there. They used their utility well. They sort of delayed us with the mollies, and we don't have the weapons to take these fights. All right, guys, game tied, 10-10 here. Enemy team mounting a comeback. As we know, defense a little bit easier here on Ascent. So it can be really important for us here to get this round. If we lose this round, this is when you start falling in that situation where you have to force up late game. You never want to be in this situation. So playing passively here, we have a strat to take A off of a fake over by B. So I throw some smokes, one smoke mid, one smoke cat. The reason I do that is because I want to give the impression that we're taking mid control. We don't want the enemy team to know where we're coming from in this situation. We want to keep them guessing. So now we also have that over at B. The enemies are not going to know what's going to hit them here. So I have one smoke. I smoke off tree, like I've been saying. Super important to smoke that. End up killing the turret that was on top of generator. So now we're in sight. Unfortunately for me, though, that molly does a ton of damage. Now, we are in sight. We are getting the plant here. So that's good. Problem. Enemy Killjoy ult is going to get me right as the Killjoy walks through. Now, I was in a bad spot. I had to get out of there, but I couldn't because if I walked past the door, there was a threat that I was going to die to someone walking through or walking into tree. And there was a Killjoy molly, so I couldn't get back on the other side of that until after that went off, and then the ult was already going. I was stuck. I probably still should have tried. Maybe could have shrouded stepped or something different there. I'm finding that recently I've been getting hit by a lot of Killjoy ults. So is that something I need to reconsider and sort of figure out why I'm doing that? It's kind of silly to be getting hit by them since they're so easy to avoid. So definitely something I can work on. All right, round 22 starting here, 10-11. So we're down one now. Enemy team on the verge of winning this game. They take down our Cypher. Looks like probably from Cat with the op. So now we have to execute here onto A. We're following in the Phoenix ult. So this is important, right? You got your Phoenix. You want to follow them in. Take a little bit of damage there from the molly. We kill the Killjoy on site. So brings it back into a 4v4. We know there's an opper now above us. Above us in heaven. So I just have to play this smart. With bomb, though, we can play time now. Now, for me, unfortunately, I do expose myself over towards tree, and that ends up costing me my life there. I think that in that situation, I kind of forgot where I was. And I kind of forgot that if I keep walking down here, I could be seen by another position. That's something I talk to you guys a lot about. Your positioning and being aware of where you are in relation to where you'd be shot from. And in that situation, I was so focused on the player in heaven that I totally forgot that I was exposing myself to
game
tree.
is tied up once
So
again.
definitely
11-11.
my positioning. Going for a little bit more of a default here with one player over towards mid, a couple towards B, and then a few of us over here at A. I think that what's really important here is we take it slow. We don't want to push anything, especially with it being 11-11. And now I have my ultimate as well after getting that orb. So with this ult, there is some potential to cause some chaos over here on B site or wherever I end up teleporting. Regardless of what I do, I have to make a play here. This game is too close, and I have to do something. Now, one of your options with an Omen ult is to go into a site as your team is going in, forcing the enemy to turn around as you guys enter site. So what am I going to do? I'm going to smoke for my team just in case I die. Then I'm going to ult into the back of B site. Once I ult back there, it pulls the raise away. So now we know there's a raise on site. We know there's a Cypher on site as well. And we know there's a jet now opping. So I'm able to blind over towards CT. I'm not sure if it hits anybody. But then I make a mistake. I forget about market and that smokes are going to fade. And I'm just not prepared for it. After that, the Killjoy sitting in market gets the easy kill on me. Once again, my positioning is losing me rounds here and causing me deaths. I'm just so focused on trying to get these kills and trying to get and secure site that I'm forgetting about where I'm exposing myself to. And then unfortunately, In this situation, I'm not sure what that raise was doing, but our Killjoy able to get the easy kill and get us our 12th round. Okay, the final round of the game, hopefully, of regulation. Round 24 is starting right now. The call here was to use an ult, Killjoy ult, to take B. Now, once again, it's extremely important here that once this goes down, we all push in together and we play together. These ults are useless if you're not playing as a team. So right now, once this Killjoy ult goes down, we need to be pushing in. I'm going to TP myself over here to logs. Able to do a little bit of damage there to the Raze. She does go down. Now we have to clear sight. Now I'm stuck over here in this little cubby, playing a pretty tough angle. I'm just kind of staring up. I don't want to walk out and expose myself to CT. Thankfully, I am able to kill the Omen, but I do expose myself to the Jet. I wish the Killjoy would have been there to help me, but I think she was smoked off. So in that situation, I was in what we call a one and done spot. Positioning there, once again, could have been a little bit better to help the team. And unfortunately, though, we are going to lose this round as well, bringing it into overtime. Now, overtime is going to start off with us on defense here, so obviously that's good. Defense-sided map for sure. Both teams in this situation played much better on defense. Now, I'm going to go for the standard B-Link smoke, since I think Phoenix is actually peeking in this round, help them out a little bit, but we're still playing passive here. This is what worked for us the best. Whenever I peeked mid, it ended up going poorly. And then on top of that, we're going to go for another passive smoke, giving up even more mid control. But what happens in this situation? Well, the Omen smokes me off. So my job now, keep applying a little bit of pressure with some spray through the smokes. Try to make sure they don't go through market if possible. But in this situation, I'm just going to be hanging out. I'm not pushing the smoke. I don't want to throw my life away. We're in overtime. Really important here that I stay alive. Now, I'm going to re-smoke that. Off of seeing the Jet there, we know that there is some mid presence. So we just want to smoke. We want to delay as much as we can. Remember, time is on our side. We're on defense. We don't have to get aggressive here. Only 50 seconds left. 2 players on A, 1 player towards B with our who is that? Sova pushing in towards CT as well, and I'm holding mid still. Now, Omen re-smokes, so this tells me they're going to be coming over towards me. I get naded here. No one's walking through quite yet, but 2 spotted in market. So I probably could have rotated right now. Now, right here, this is huge. This flash, even though I'm still getting sprayed, that flash saved me. I had to flash that guy. He was able to walk through at a time when I was moving, so I didn't have my feet planted. I couldn't actually get that kill. Thankfully for me, though, he sort of was spraying me while blind. He didn't really know how much he had hit me for. I was only 1 shot, and thankfully I was able to walk around that corner and finish him off for the round win there. We probably win that round anyways. It felt good to get the kill. All right, starting the final round here of the first overtime with a smoke cat, and then we're going to smoke a little bit more aggressive towards mid from the call from a teammate. Now, I'm going first through this smoke here. Could have been dangerous, but because our Sova is using his drone to go through, I feel confident in walking through that through that smoke. Now, what's really important here in this round is to play smart. If we're able to trade these kills out successfully, we can sort of take wherever we want. Now, our Killjoy is making their way over towards A, and we're sort of all here in mid. So we have to decide, are we going to get aggressive on B, or are we going to go hang out with our Killjoy? Killjoy now sort of rotating back. Right now, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're wasting time currently, but it's okay. The longer we wait, the more confused the enemy will be, hopefully, as well. Looks like we decide, hey, we're going to go A here. Now, this is a 5v5, full strength for both teams. I do not have a smoke currently. So really important for these takes to get your smokes back because you're going to need them. So this late in the round, really important that any utility you have, you're using it very, very wisely. Now, unfortunately, we do lose our Sova and our Killjoy early. XTR is able to follow it up with 2 kills of his own, bringing this back into a 3-on-3. Now, my smoke in heaven, hopefully blocking some people off. I unfortunately blind XTR. 3 smokes here from the Jet as well. We have to get this plant. I kind of get lost a little bit, but thankfully XTR is able to get a kill. I'm able to get the plant down just in time. About quarter of a second left. 2v1 off the 4K from XTR. Get the headshot there on the Raze, but not enough to finish them off. What's really important here is that I relocate and we play together. Remember, this is a 2v1. A trade here should be enough to win this game and win it in overtime. XTR peaks, goes down, but thankfully I'm able to turn the corner, and I get the kill on the Raze for the victory. 14-12 overtime win. Not bad. Now, let's talk about what I could have done differently and what I could have done better. All right, guys, let's conclude and wrap this up with my main takeaways from this VOD review. What I saw from me and what I need to work on the most is my positioning and my utility usage late in a round. So first of all, my positioning. There was quite a few times when I was dry peeking angles, and particularly when there was oppers. That's something that I need to work on. I need to ask for my teammates to help me with utility. I need to wait for my smokes because those deaths are easily avoided. Now, on top of that, there was quite a few times when we were taking sites where I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Those are easily fixed as well. It's all about understanding where I need to be, and I think sometimes I get a little bit too aggressive. I also, another thing, need to pay attention to where Killjoy mollies are. I'm still getting hit by those a little bit too often, and those once again are something that are easily avoided. Now, you guys saw that horrible Omen teleport. I don't know what I was doing there with my ultimate. That's something I also need to figure out. I gotta figure out a better way to use those, or maybe I should just be canceling them more. But regardless of how I decide to use them in the future, that was a bad one, and I definitely think I can use them more efficiently. I might look into actually using my smokes more around them and maybe teleporting into those. Now, another thing is, I obviously play a very passive role in mid. However, there was quite a few times when I was turning that corner and getting shot or dying, and those are things that I need to reconsider. I need to reconsider how I peek in mid and what I peek with. I think what I got to do here is actually figure out a better way to flash mid. That way, when I peek that corner, I'm not so stressed out. But the problem also is that because there's so many spots enemies can be in mid, sometimes I don't know where to look. So I have to sort of figure out a better way to take those fights in mid, or maybe I should be saying a better way to not take those fights. Maybe it is important I just play more passive in these situations and don't go for those fights. Now, on top of that, I think I hit some nice shots in this game. I wasn't really too stressed out or too down on my crosshair placement, my aiming, my flicks, recoil, anything like that. I think when I had the opportunity to shoot people, I did. I did get a decent amount of kills as well, despite not topping the leaderboard. I think for me, mainly, it was a positioning thing this game. Could have been a lot better, and there were some rounds that I think that had I performed a little bit better on and just not made a silly mistake, we probably win that in regulation. And yeah. But with that being said, guys, I think that's it for the video. If you guys enjoy these VOD reviews, you learn something, you just have a good time, make sure you leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe for more. I do this all the time, so if this is something you guys like, I'd love to see you back in the future. With that being said, guys, that's all for today. Hope you guys have a great day. Take it easy, and peace.